Shalom, shalom, Shabbat, Adonai. Welcome to the Sixth Exodus program. Thank you for listening. The name of this segment is The Judgment Upon the Earth. I'd like to read to you the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, the entire chapter. But before we begin reading, I'd like to say that there are only a few people that know what is going to happen. The rest of the people have been there's a lot of words you can say, but they have no idea what's going on. It's like they are sleeping or they are zombies. They have been listening. Well, I tell you, this movie a few years was made called Matrix, and there were some people that was in the Matrix and people that was out of the Matrix. They didn't know like what was really going on in the world. Very much similar to that is what's going on in the world. It has been for over, I would say probably 3,000 to 4,000 years. For sure, 2,000 years. And the people who ruled the world for those years started in the fall of the Roman Empire. And moving forward, mostly white people have been in charge of the world. So these are their doings. The people who control the world. I'm not saying all white people. I don't believe Russia had anything to do with it. I can step out and say that. But as far as Europe, America, the Jewish people, the Italians, these are all their doings. And they have brought these things upon the earth. What I'm going to tell you is real. And I don't have time for buffoonery or ignorance. I don't show my face because I don't take claim for anything or knowing anything or take charge of any people. But I know these things are coming. And if you look at our website, then you would know. I don't get these things from a book. I don't go to church. I don't interact very much with any people. Okay, let's begin. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattered abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, as so with the borrower, with the one that taketh usury. That means interest. Charging people interest. Poor people. So with the giver of usury, to him the land shall be utterly spoiled, emptied. For the Lord has spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languish and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languish, All the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of tabrets ceased. The noise of them that rejoices endeth. The joy of the harp cease. They shall not drink wine with song. Strong drink shall be bitter unto them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone, and the city is left desolation, and the gates is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land, amongst the people, there shall be the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes, when the vintage is gone, they shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the cry of the Lord, they shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify ye the Lord in the fires. The Lord said there in that scripture that the people are now crying and calling upon the name of the Lord. But before that, they didn't call upon the name of the Lord, neither did they seek him. But they was comfortable with their idols and their idolatry, sexual immorality. They were doing all these wicked and having their bodies changed from man to women, women having sex with women, men having sex with men, having body changes. There's no male, there's no such thing as female, encouraging children to be witches and warlocks, and changing the ordinance of God, making Satan and God equal as the same. This is what the Lord said, changing the ordinance. So now the Lord is going to do these things upon the earth. And so the people are saying, they're crying out to the Lord while they're in the ships, and their cry or in the fire, and they're crying out to the Lord, glorify, saying, wherefore? He said, why are you praising me? The Lord in the fires. Why are you praising the Lord in the fires? Even the name of the Lord God of Israel in the islands of the sea. From the uttermost parts of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he that fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken by the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel and rock like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgressions thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and be shut up in prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the Son ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem before his ancients gloriously. Okay, that verse 22 and 23 is talking about the leaders, all the leaders of the earth. Who do you see as leaders of the whole earth? Lord said he's going to have a council with you. He's going to talk with you. The Lord is going to gather you. He's going to talk with you. And what he's going to say to you, it's going to be up to you. All of your leaders, he's going to talk to you. He is unsatisfied with how you're treating the people on the earth. And the people cry out to him because the leaders of the earth are not doing right by the people. Okay. Killing, murdering, robbing. All this is just too much to number everything. But the Most High, he looks at everything. And that's in the past, what has done and how God had destroyed nations in the past. No one considers it. No leader considers it. They don't consider the destruction of other nations that were wicked and have done the same things these nations do. And so the world, the kingdoms, the leaders of the world, from the banking industry, from governments, to trading, to sex trafficking, sexual immorality, there are so many things to number. But I'm not going to number them, I'm just telling you. Okay, the judgment is going to come upon the whole earth. The Bible said men will hide in caves, in holes. And it's going to be a swift destruction. In 1 hour, everything will be done. In 1 hour. In verse number 23, it says, then the sun and the moon will be confounded, and the sun ashamed. That means there's not going to be any light. It's going to be darkness, pitch black darkness, where we cannot see. Okay. And when the light shows up again, God, his son, and the black Hebrews, what you call Africans, that the world have hidden and made them slaves in every civilization. And the Most High didn't say anything. But they're going to be in their rightful place, and the rest of the people in the world are going to be burnt up because how they have treated them. And these are God's chosen people. You need to read Jeremiah chapter 33. Because the nations of the world have changed God's ordinance. God said, I'm going to have the seed of David and the priests to serve me for eternal. But you said no. You said we're going to put our own people. We're going to make our own gods. See, this is what happened in the Tower of Babel. So they didn't want God's word to go forth. They want to have their gods. So you change the ordinance. And you don't want God's people. But you make them slaves. And kill them. And murder them. And every wicked abomination that you can add to them. All the kings of the earth. Your ancestors. Not necessarily you. All the kings of the world today. But their ancestors. France, England. Divided the land. God's land. With the people of the Arabs. Divided God's land. Sold us. And how we ended up here in America. 400 years. 400 years is next month. January 2019. We will be here 400 years. So what will you do? You're anthropologists. You don't know. You haven't seen our pictures in the ancient city, but you won't lift up one finger against the Jewish people who are in our land to save your own self, but you rather die. Or you take the risk of fighting against God You want to fight against someone who created suns, moons, elements, and stars? Oh, I don't want to be with that side of people. I will be right where I'm at. But I want you to know what is going to come upon the face of the earth. Many people will die. In fact, there's only going to be a few people left. So I hope you know how to keep God's laws and to be at peace with man and to walk upright before God and be righteous. And that the people who are in our country, all of them will die. It's no hope. There's no hope for them. The Americans the same. There's no hope for them. The Jewish people, the Italians, there's no hope for them. No hope. Because of their sins, the Italian people have set up their own God and said that he is the Father. See, you changed the ordinance. The American made up their Jesus and changed the words of the Bible. And the Jewish people are in the land that belongs to us. So these are the ordinances that the people in the world have changed. And all of them have collaborated against us. Psalms 83. Okay, we're going to end this segment now. Because if I keep telling you things, it's going to sound like I'm arguing against you or fussing, which is none of the above. But I want to share with those who don't know but can hear my voice. They will know that these things are coming upon the face of the earth. As far as saving countries or nations, I cannot. Individual, yes. But countries and nations, no. Most of the world is going to be scattered upon the face of the earth. It's going to be terrible. Okay, you might have the same country, but it's not going to be the same. It's going to be in ruins. Okay, the world is going to be started over again. You have this people, it's going to be turned upside down. People who was in this country will not be in here anymore. They will be somewhere else. It's going to be that way for the whole nation. Okay, we don't know what language everyone is going to be speaking. We don't know, but it's going to be turned upside down. So the people today might be speaking English. They might be speaking Portuguese or Japanese or some other language you never heard of. It's going to be something serious. Okay, because the people in the world have changed the ordinance of God. The Americans, the Jewish people, the Italians, all of them have collaborated, from the bankers all the way down. Greed, power, money, success. That's what you want. Well, you got it, and your time is coming to an end. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.